Hello there guys, and welcome back to our car modeling tutorial. Today in this episode what I think we'll do is we'll continue to work around the back here. We might have a look at kind of bringing the window line together as well. I think that's probably what we'll start with doing. In the last episode we continued to work across the roof and we worked around this kind of area of the window and along the trunk here. I think we aligned our arch here ready to go. What I did in between episodes is I actually replaced my side blueprint here. I managed to find a blueprint with a line. It wasn't off the Demon, it was off the Hellcat, I think. But I just popped that into the correct position here, the correct size and orientation, just to help me out when it comes to me putting that together. So that should be fine. It will also help me put together this kind of frontal section, because we can see here that this actually should come all the way along, so we'll probably need to edit the front section there to facilitate that. What I would like to do is I would like to maybe bring this line across first, so let's grab our vertex here and let's put it in the right spot. Let's double check that in the top view as well. Okay, so just find a good balance between the two blueprints there. Just pull these points out a little bit just so that they're all a bit more uniform in this section here. That should be fine. Okay, so let's grab this face here. I'm going to hit Ctrl E and let's bring this across. I'm going to grab the vertex and I'm just going to hold V, bring these to it, and then that will allow me just to quickly edit mesh and merge those together. So we've got that kind of line starting through here. Let's maybe drop it down a little so it's kind of forming along there quite nicely. Now let's think about some edges. So I'm going to grab my insert edge loop. We're going to want to again think about what we have up top here. So first we'll grab this door crease and we'll bring this down here, and let's just orientate these a little bit better, like so. So we can see in here now that if we was to extrude this down, that we would have a nice square. We will probably want to add a bit more detail in there at some point, but we'll leave that for now. Let's just make sure we're looking good in this top view as well. Again, we're going to have to find a good balance between these blueprints here, so maybe something like that. And then we have 1, 2, and then this will make a 4 there. So we just want to add 2 more. So let's go for insert edge loop again, but this time I'm going to do multiple edges and we'll drop 2 in there. Just that they're a nice distance apart. And then again, we'll just make sure that they're kind of following the correct curvature for this portion, and then we'll do that the same at the top here. So just pull those out slightly as well. Okay, so we can now really start to see that kind of body line taking shape, which is looking good, and it's not looking like we're going to have too much geometry to worry about vertically again, which is good too. Let's think about running around the back then. We do want to try and put as much effort into this rear section here as we do for the front. Let me just open up my reference images here, my rear quarter kind of area. Okay, so it looks like this line does continue to run through here. But it looks super basic, really. It looks like we're just going to want to run till we're about in line here. This is going to make a rough kind of corner, similar to like what we had in the front section here. And then it looks fairly straight shot to the back. So let's grab our lower sections here. I'm going to hit Ctrl E. Let's bring this to the line of the bumper here. I'm just going to grab the vertices here. Let's maybe follow underneath that reflector there, and then we want to come up under the diffuser here. Let's think, do we want to run? We could run, take this line here and run up there, but I think that's going to distort our main section there, so maybe we'll go up there separately and then we'll cut that in later. But before we do, let's go in our top view. I want to make sure that we're running along the right kind of line here, something like that. And of course we're going to want our back view too. So we can see we ran to this corner, we're nice in line with that corner, so that's good. Let's go for those edges again. I'm going to hit Control E. I think we're on the wrong edges there, so undo that. So let's grab these edges, Control E. And I'm going to bring them out here to where it looks like the kind of edge starts, something like that. But let's take those down so they're a bit more uniform. And again, let's take them in to kind of match that body there. And then we're going to grab these edges just one more time. I'm going to hit Control E, and I'm going to pull these all the way out to this portion, this point here. And let's grab those there. That looks like that's the indentation for the license plate there. Okay. And then what we're going to want to do with these is we're going to take these all the way to that center point. Just like so. So that's got that rough shape there. Let's go into our review here. We can see that's going to align nicely. Again, we've got quite lucky. So this is where this kind of the shape of this car is going to be good for us, because we can see here that this whole section, which houses the rear lights, is one whole piece. So it really doesn't matter if we match above as we do below. All we want to do is make sure that this angle here is nice. So what that really means for us is we can put in whatever we want in terms of edge loops. But again, we do want to make sure that we're being sensible with it. So I'm going to go back to my single, and I'm going to drop one in here. Actually, before we do the license plate, let's drop one more in just here, and we'll pull that up. So that's going to help us kind of facilitate that corner a little bit. And let's try and find a nice smooth area for those to go around there. That's looking good. What we could maybe do at this point is we could follow. I don't think we want to be quite that high, maybe something like that. Let's see if we can bring these up to above that license plate a little bit. Something like that. And then we're double checking our perspective. We can see that that's flowing around quite nicely. Let's do another edge loop. We're obviously going to want to be by the license plate here. And then realistically, we just want to now try and follow the curve that we have up here. Try to just do something a bit more smooth around there. Okay, I think that would be okay for now. We could add another one in between, but I think for now that's not too bad. Now what we want to try and do is we want to try and get the shape of this rear bumper section, so it looks like we want to have all of these pieces here. They're the lower pieces, so let's grab the top ones. I think we're going to really want to bring those, maybe we'll go up a little bit first, and then we'll hit Control E and we'll go up and over, something like that. Yeah, because we've got kind of a ridge here which like kind of double kicks underneath there, which we'll need to focus on when it comes to that, but we'll bring that in something like that. We do want to allow that to kind of become it really doesn't look as severe on the reference images here as it does in the actual blueprint. So let's just bring that in, something like that, and then let's just double check our rear view here. Okay, so let's grab these ones, let's take these down. Let's take these down a notch too. Do something like that. Okay, we'll go with that for now. Let's grab this edge here. It doesn't look like there's enough details on these blueprints, which is a bit frustrating. Let's go up to this point. Something like that. Okay, let's see if we can see this on our back view. So I want to be something like there. We can kind of see that little line there on the inside of that. Yep. And then let's go edge again, extrude this up. Just something like that for now. Because I believe what that's going to want to do is that's actually going to want to run parallel along here. So I think if this is going up like this, this is going to feed up and along there. So let's grab all of these vertices here. Just take them in. And then let's grab the edges. Take them out here. Let's just straighten them off for now. Just get a little bit of rotation in there. Something like that. That's just like underneath the duckbill. And that should allow us now, holding down V, just to snap here and here. So it looks like that will be a continuation around that section there. I think what we could also do is let's actually grab our edge loop tool here. We're going to want to sink one just around here. And we'll merge these two together. So we're going to go edit mesh and merge. And then I think what we'll want to do is we'll probably want to do the same again. So let's go insert edge loop again. So I think we're going to want those to kind of attach around there. I'm just going to make sure we've got a nice edge flow around here. Okay, so that's looking okay just now. It's not looking too bad. We're going to have the large curved section in here for those lights, and then obviously that's going to want to come down. So let's maybe think about how it's going to rear view. So we can see maybe this point here we actually want to bring into this curve. Maybe something like that. And again, we want our edge flow to be nice, so we'll bring all those in so that they curve down a little bit nicer. We can see that we're kind of nicely now following that area there too. Looks like we're on this inner line is actually where we want to be, so an area like this. Like so. Unless, maybe actually we want to be, let's just dial that back. I think maybe we do want to be there, but rather than taking those edges in, I think what we actually want to do is we're going to want to extrude these instead. Something like that. So we've got that extra lip that goes around, and this is kind of maintaining that original flow. And then that means with these ones, we'll want to do the same with the top here. So we're going to hit Ctrl E, we'll bring this down. If I take all of it. So I think we want to bring this down and out. You can see that bit there is actually part of the darker section. So I think we want to be something like that. So I'm going to hold V and bring these out. Maybe not out actually. Maybe we want that to be in. Something like that. Okay, I think that's looking okay. Maybe this one here in a little bit. Obviously we want that to taper as well, but we'll think about that a little bit later. So we've got that rough kind of shape in there for that rear section. I think that'll do for now. We do have some creases in and around here that we'll need to think about. It looks like maybe along this line. Obviously we have the indentation for the license plate as well, which is here. So let's maybe take that in the way. I just want to make sure we haven't upset that too much. Let's grab this. I'm going to hit Ctrl E for extruding. Just going to take that on the world just to make sure. Looks like maybe something like that goes in quite a little bit. And then we can grab our target weld here. And let's bring these ones out. And then delete that extra face. So we've got that kind of shape inside there. What we could do is we could bring all these in and run them up there. So it's a little bit cleaner, so let's do that. I'm actually going to straighten them off. We also want to do that for these ones as well, which will allow us to hold down X and snap that to the grid. And we'll straighten all these off, bring them in just there. We just want to make sure that we haven't offset that top section too much. Yep, that's looking pretty good. Which means we could probably just drop another one here. Just kind of help maintain that shape. So that'll be fine. I'm going to want to think about soon, let's think about maybe meeting in the middle just now. I think the diffuser, I won't be able to get that finished in this episode, that section, so we'll look at that in the next one. Let's see about kind of bringing these two portions together. Obviously they're two separate entities just now, so that's not a big problem. Let's grab this. I'm going to hit Control E to bring this along here. And I'm going to go for my vertices. Let's just make sure we brought the right one, which we haven't, of course. Let's take that back. This inner edge is the one that we want. And I'm just going to hold down V to snap to that vertices there. Okay, so we're really starting to see the shape of the car coming together now, which is nice. Luckily the doors run all the way down, so there's nothing too complicated on that right hand side there. This point here, let's think about getting a basic floor in place. So I'm going to bring in a basic cylinder here. Let's rotate that 90. I'm going to double the subdivision axis here, maybe jump that up to 40. I'm going to my side view. Let's ditch all of the lower faces. Like so. And I'm going to scale this down so that's about the size of the arch here. Okay. So we just want this to be roughly overlapping on the arch. Let's delete these front faces here. And let's also bring in just past the tyre there. I'll pull all these vertices in as well, so that there's just inside the arch. We'll be covering these up with a lip eventually. I'm not going to bother too much with how accurate these portions are. Don't want to be too close though, because they will clip through the viewport potentially, which will be a little bit frustrating. Take all the way in here. Okay, before I do anything else, I'm going to hit face. I'm going to select all those faces, and let's go mesh, display and reverse. So we have our normals in the archway here and on the underside. When we take those two, I'm going to hit Control D. Let's bring this to the back section as well. So just make sure it's sitting where it should be. Oh, whoops, I've just demolished my microphone. Alright, let's bring these now roughly into position. It's a bit of a laborious task, but it's always good to have a floor underneath the car. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect because we will be extruding these edges for the arches as well. But what it'll do as well is it'll add a bit of depth to the car. I'm going to be bringing some placeholder wheels in at some point, maybe in the next episode, because I find that having wheels in place and floor in place kind of just helps get the composition for the rest of the car. So we haven't got that lower section in there just yet for the diffuser kind of area, but we will need it eventually, so we'll leave that there. So finally, let's just go grab these two that we've created here, we can adjust the width at any point. Let's combine them. That will allow us to get these edges here and bridge. So edit mesh and bridge. We can then select all of these portions here. I'm going to hit Control E. We'll snap that to the center. And then I'm going to grab the front ones, hit Control E. And again, once we do come to finishing the kind of front splitter, that will hide what we have back there. And then we'll probably leave the back just now because we don't have that rear section in. And we can just hit our Control D, Control G, -1 on that X, just to kind of throw that in. So we can see now it's starting to take some really good shape. Alright then guys, so I think we'll leave it there for this episode here. In the next episode, what we'll probably do is we'll work around that diffuser, and then start to maybe link all this central area together, and then we'll hopefully in maybe an episode or two have our base mesh put together. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video, as usual, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.